They're coming for us. Get them. Get them. They're coming in hot.
I got one.
Don't get cocky, kid.
But it's a Pod Bros podcast.
What do you mean it's a podcast? You haven't been shooting? They're all over the place.
Well, no, but they've got all sorts of good shows like Pencil and Ink Reviews and The Guy Huddle and Players vs. Podcasts. I mean, was I supposed to?
Yes. What? How many podcasts do they have?
There's tons. You got other ones like The Accidental Wrestling Fan and Take Aim Outdoors.
That kind of sounds like we should make podcasts, not war.
Aww. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you doing
Yay,
today?
I'm lovely. It's been a nice day. Had the day off. Cleaned up the house. Did some. I was very domestic today. I put on some pearls. Did a little vacuuming.
Came home, you're in your little maid outfit, and the wife's like, "Where's my sandwich?"
Coming.
Nice day at work, dear? Well,
oh, God, she's putting on her beading shirt.
I wonder, this is kind of a random thought I just had, but I wonder if, like, role reversals of the 50s happened, like the men were the stay-at-home, like, house husbands, and the wives were the ones who went out and worked and did all these things with the... what that kind of image would be like.
If you had, if Rosie the Riveter just, never put her rivet gun down.
Well, I mean, like an alternate, I'm thinking, what's the Smallville, the Happyville show? What's that called? Pleasantville. So it's an alternate universe where Pleasantville is, the women are the ones that come home, and the men are the women are the one that goes to work each day, and the men are the one that stay home, and they wear the nice aprons, and they're making dinner and cleaning the house, taking the kids to school. This alternate universe where women are the breadwinners and men are the ones that stay home.
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of similar to what it is now, because you see that now.
Yeah, there is some of that now. Yeah,
and I'm totally down with it.
Why not?
Right? Chick wants to earn a paycheck.
I'll stay home. I'll make you a damn fine dinner.
I would too. I can cook.
So, I'm not a big phone guy that you know of. I mean, every 2 years, whenever the contract's up, I'll go ahead and buy a new phone. But recently, they announced the brand new iPhone 6S's.
Yeah.
No shock. And I'm an Apple guy.
So you're not one of those guys that you're not one of those people that goes and waits in line for the new phone and stands there out in the cold.
No,
with the huddled masses, which this is what never made sense to me when it came to that. Okay, so people are standing in line waiting to get their iPhone that they pre-ordered. I mean, am I wrong here? You pre-ordered the phone. So
I don't know if this is the first year they've done that, but I think you can definitely pre-order now.
You can pre-order the phone. So if that's the case, why are you standing in line? For me, the concept of standing in line was always you're standing in line because if you don't stand in line, then you are not going to get that thing. You stand in line for a movie because you want either A, tickets to that movie, or B, you want to get a seat that nobody else is going to get. You want to get a good seat. So you're up at the beginning at the front of the line because you want that good seat. That's why you're standing there. You're buying tickets for an event. You're standing in line because you want those tickets and you want to get them before they're gone. You want to get that good seat before it's gone. So I ask you, if you've pre-ordered the phone and you are guaranteed a phone, why are you standing in line?
Well, this is how they get you, because if you go to a store to pre-order, I'm guessing that's how you get it in store. So they have I don't know if they did a midnight release or an early opening, but so one, you're standing in line to get a pre-order. So they got you there. You're standing in line already once.
Yeah.
And then on release day, you have to go back and stand in line again to be one of the
Yeah.
first ones to get it.
It's the second line that makes no sense to me.
And it's so what happened with me, I did this when I got my last phone, 'cause again, my contract's coming up, so it's like, why not get a new phone? You know, I'm not going to pay the $800 for a brand new one. To me, that's silly. I mean, if you like doing that, buying a brand new one each year, more power to you, but
That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I feel like buying a brand new phone, it's almost like buying a brand new car where it loses, like 30% of its value, like as you're driving away with it.
Well, I would say it's even worse because if you buy a brand new car, you at least have some incentives to do that. And typically, if you buy a brand new car, you should have it for the lifetime of the loan and everything. So I mean, you're going to have it for a while. Yeah,
Right.
you lose 30% when you drive off the lot, but you're not going to sell it the next day.
True.
A phone, you're going to have it for 2 years, and if you're that kind of person, probably just 1 year, and you're just throwing money away. You're never getting that investment back.
Yeah, depending on the type of person. If you're the kind of person that needs that new phone, needs to have the next thing, the greatest thing, the best thing. If you're that person, then what's currently in your hand, you're already shopping for a new one. And that's the other thing I don't understand. From incarnation to incarnation, we're not really seeing much improvement. I mean, no great strides is what I'm saying.
Well, with iPhones, definitely year to year. So whenever they come out with the numbers, like last year they came out with the 6, it was different from the 5, fairly different. It was bigger, had, some different, bells and whistles. But from the 6 to the 6S, there's not a big difference.
Right.
I think the biggest thing they've talked about on this one that caught my eye is that it can record in 4K.
Ooh.
I don't think the 6 can, but that's kind of cool. And to me, with our show, it's like, oh, well, we've wanted to start doing like a YouTube channel maybe. So that might be a good incentive to be like, well, I mean, we don't look good in regular def, but maybe in 4K we'll look amazing.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I want people to see me in 4K. That's what I'm talking about.
First comment: you guys have a face for radio. Stop doing these.
I'm just saying, like, there's a reason that you don't see much porn in HD.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
So think about that when you're like, hey, I need my face in 4K resolution.
So a couple years ago when I bought my 5S.
Hang on, because I could just see the first comment. Like we put out a video, and the first comment is, "What's that on your face?"
That's my face.
Is that
God,
cancer?
it's horrifying.
It looks like a mole. You should get that checked. What do you mean?
Did you think the skit was funny? Well, I couldn't get through it because I kept looking at that big thing on your face.
I'm staring at this thing. It's like screaming at me. Report me. WebMD me.
So, like you're saying, I'm not going to wait in line. That's not the kind of person I am.
No.
But
you're getting the phone. You don't need to wait in line because you're going to get it. You could just make a phone call and you're like, yes, I'd like the new iPhone, please. And they would say, okay, that's going to be X amount of dollars. And then you would pay the person and then you pick up the phone at your damn leisure.
Well, it's even nicer. So the first, this will be my 4th iPhone that I'm getting because I've kind of bought into that Apple iPhone thing.
Oh, I gotta say, this is where we are on opposing sides of the field because I'm not an Android fanboy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a real slave to the Google empire, but it's just that I don't like Apple. Everything just seems so. Apple shit really, really only works with other Apple shit. And that's what bothers me.
But the way it works with other Apple stuff is pretty seamless.
It is. I will say that, like, if you have, like, Apple, an Apple, if you have a MacBook with your iPhone and your, and your iPod, then it is a nice setup. But I don't want to have to shell out all the damn money for all the Apple stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty pricey. I mean, a low level like MacBook, you're looking at least $1,200 already.
Yeah.
So, but like with a phone, and this. I mean, I'm not a big fan of lines to begin with. So they've really, like 2 years ago when I bought my 5S, This was the first time I ever like actually stood up or stayed up late to buy something.
Okay.
Because the way it works is at midnight Pacific time, they basically go on sale online.
Okay.
So a couple years ago, I was up already watching TV, kind of watching some videos because it was a Friday night, and that's what my crazy life back then was. I just hang out and watch videos online all night.
Let's be real with ourselves. You say videos, we're talking about porn.
Well, I mean, so from like 10, well, I'm sorry, from 6 till 7, it was porn. Then I cried for an hour and a half, and then I got horny again, so I watched some more porn.
Right.
I was pretty chaffed after that
And
night.
then there was YouTube cat videos, and then I drank a little, and it got confused with the porn, and it became this whole hodgepodge mashup.
It was cats and porns.
Yeah, and then I found myself getting aroused by cats, and I don't know what happened.
I had my tabs out of order, so I wasn't sure where I was at. And then I finished with a cat playing with yarn, and now I've kind of got a fetish for that. But But so 2 years ago, like 2 o'clock came. I think I had to wait a few minutes because I'm pretty knowledgeable that obviously at 2 o'clock I'm not the only person trying to pre-order an iPhone.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be. There's there would be quite a many others behind you on the phone queue, if you will.
But so it took a little bit, but was pretty seamless. Got it ordered, pay for. About 3 weeks later, an iPhone shows up at my door. Don't have to wait in line. Don't have to go into my store and be like, "Hey, do you have an iPhone available?" No, we don't.
Right.
Just at my door, open it, log in, synced up. I'm ready to go.
Because it's Apple, and that's how Apple does it.
Yeah, it's like, well, we've got all your information already on this phone. Well, how do you do that? Well, your information's on every phone that exists, obviously.
Right. I mean, don't treat that with any sort of suspicion whatsoever.
Have you ever heard the rumor? I don't know how true this is. This is going off on a little bit of a tangent, but there's a urban legend out there that Steve Jobs sold his soul to make Apple what it is. And that's why Apple's logo is an apple that's got one bite out of it because of Adam and Eve. And they say that's why, he kind of passed away so suddenly was because, he sold his soul. So he had 7 years to live or however that works, 6 years to live or whatever happens in those kind of urban legends.
See, but to me, that doesn't make sense because number one, Apple's been around since the 80s, the early 80s. I mean, it was going kind of bankrupt before. Sure. I mean, like by the, in the early 90s, mid 90s, it wasn't doing that great. And then Jobs came up with this new technology, this new, and everything worked out. But I mean, the Apple IIe was huge. When I was a kid, we had an Apple IIe in the house. This is okay. Here, this is gonna take you back, kids. Okay, we had an Apple IIe in my home. I can't even tell you how much processing power it had. It was. I mean, we're talking. This is the pre-486 days. So this is probably about 10 or 12 years before the Pentium 1 chip. So your phone already, the phone that most people have in their hands is already 100 times what this computer was. And that's not an exaggeration. That's quite literal in terms of processing power. It was a straight monitor. It wasn't even a color monitor. Everything was either green or black.
It was was those the ones that were a glorified typewriter, basically? With a few games?
Basically, yeah. I had an uncle that was kind of okay at programming, so he actually programmed a few games into it.
Oh, nice.
And saved them. We all had it was on the big 5 1/4 floppies, and then there were some other places that sold games. There was Zork. If anybody remembers Zork, I'm sure you don't remember Zork. It was an adventure game, but it was text based. Like it would give you an explanation of a room, and then you would type in what you want to do.
You see a dragon. Show me your boobs.
The dragon can't do that.
You see an elf princess. Show me your boobs. Oh, God. It's so hot.
The elf princess can't do that. You're like, oh, this is just like high school.
Yeah, we never had an Apple growing up. I mean, the first kind of computer we had came with Windows 95, so we were pretty.
No, you were up there.
Yeah, we weren't really on the computer bandwagon in our house until I mean, I was only 9 at that time, but it was definitely later than a lot of people.
My dad was like an early adopter. My dad was big. Like we had the Apple IIe when I was a kid. So this was like 86, 87. I was probably like 5 or 6 at the time. So we had that. And then, it was, I mean, we basically upgraded from there. I guess point is that Apple's been around for almost over 30 years. So he sold his soul recently, but the logo I think has always been the same.
Yeah, it's a good. Well, has it always been the apple with a chunk out of it, or was it before just an apple?
I want to say so.
Okay.
So point number 2, has that explained Steve Wozniak? Because Steve Wozniak is like he's like boss. He's living life. He runs around on his little Segway, and he has all these little gadgets and shit. He hands out stainless steel business cards.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He has stainless steel business cards. And I think it just says the Woz.
That's how you know you've made it in life.
Right?
But that's the thing. That's how you luck out as a guy. Like, you're not the one that sold your soul. It's your buddy who sold the soul, and you just reap the benefits.
There you go.
Richard, you should be getting something in the mail soon. It's a contract. just sign it with blood. That's all you have to do.
And I'll reap the benefits.
Who's this devil-looking guy at my door?
Then 20 years down the road, you're handing out stainless steel business cards, riding a Segway.
How'd you get to where you are today, Shawn? Oh, hard work. Hard work.
Hard work. And my friend is now burning in hell.
I miss him so much. Where's the remote? Ha ha ha, fool. Joke never gets old. But because Steve Jobs came back to Apple in like 2001, I believe. And then the iPhone, and I didn't realize this, but the first iPhone came out in like 2008.
Right.
We are less than 10 years from the first iPhone. The first, I guess, big release of a smartphone.
Yeah, because I mean the iPod, the original iPod was 2002.
That sounds right. Or
no, 2003, I think.
Somewhere in there. That sounds right. But that's crazy to think about. We're less than 10 years from like the smartphone phenomenon, and I couldn't even imagine a time without it, which is sad, but
it's it's been the last big technological revolution. But I think in a way it's almost kind of hampered us that it seems like we're not really concerned with making things better. It seems like we're concerned with making things smaller.
Yeah, it's that's an argument for any day, I guess. You look at like the smartphone, iPhone, I guess we can use the example because that's kind of what we're talking about, but like an iPhone 6 compared to the original iPhone, there's a big difference there when you consider like processing power and, especially like the camera and things like that. There's a lot of different size.
Yeah, but I mean, before you would have your before you would have a cell phone, and then let's say you were going on vacation or you were taking your kids to the park or something like that, you would have a phone, but then you would also have a digital camera because either A, the camera didn't have a phone, or B, the camera the phone did have was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I remember that was the big selling point for iPhones, the original iPhone. It's like, oh, instead of having my iPod, my camera, my phone, like 6 other things, I have this one thing. And when you hear that, it's like, well, that makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
It's all in one thing. Like today, how many people go out and buy cameras? Because most smartphones have really good cameras. For what you could buy.
I totally agree. I would say that unless you're seriously into photography, like if that's a thing for you, that's the only reason I could see people buying digital cameras nowadays.
But yeah, even then, like the new iPhone, if it has a solid 4K camera, like 4K video,
yeah,
you can't get much better than that.
No.
But I think because the urban legend that I kind of caught bits and pieces of. So I think the idea is that like he sold his soul around the time iPhone came out, and that because I'm not sure of the stock worth. I mean, I'm sure he was already richer beyond anything,
right? Because by at that point he already had the iPod, and the iPod he had the iPod and he had iTunes. That revolutionized the entire MP3 industry, and not only that, it also made a downloadable pay, like a pay model for digital music viable. Before it was if you wanted digital music, you had to go to Napster, you had to pick up one of those other sites like LimeWire, Morpheus, or something like that, and you had to basically download it illegally. But then Apple came along with iTunes and kind of said, hey, this way it's really cheap to get songs, and also this is the legal copy of a song, so there's not going to be people banging down your door and confiscating your MacBook.
Yeah, I mean, because they really proved the theory. It's like if you make it simple for people to go and buy things, they'll do it. I mean, there are going to be those people who are like, I'm not paying for digital shit, I'm just going to steal it. But
right,
a majority of people out there, if it's like, hey, I can spend $2 from a legit site, buy this song, and know I'm in good, or I'm not going to risk going to this illegal site and download what may or may not be the song, could be a virus, and hope for the best.
Oh, precisely.
And it's probably in shitty form anyway, so it sounds like crap. So I got to try like 10 or 15 different songs.
Yeah.
But anyway, digressing from the urban legend of Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was the point of this are we doing a commercial? Are we trying to get some of that Apple sell your soul money?
Well, yeah, really all this was to, again, preface. There's going to be an envelope in the mail to you from the address of the beast. Again, just a quick prick in your finger for some blood, sign it, and actually, all you have to do is burn it. You don't even have to mail it back. Just burn it, and it goes to who it needs to.
How convenient.
This is a great gag. Ow, that hurt.
This is better than Stamps.com. You just set it on fire.
Why do I feel so empty all of a sudden? Richard, we just got 10,000 downloads.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember what love feels like.
But so the first time I ever did this pre-order at 2 a.m. my time, it was real seamless, simple, easy to do. So this year, I didn't really think about doing it. I mean, I knew, if I stayed up till 2 a.m. I could do it, but I'm a little bit older. I do enjoy my sleep a little bit more. So I was kind of on that fence of, well, we'll see what happens at 11 o'clock. We'll see what happens at midnight. We'll see what happens at 1.
Okay.
Because basically I started editing our podcast, doing some things productive, and sure enough, it's almost 2 in the morning. So I'm like, oh well, I'll hop onto my provider's site and get in line to order my phone. That's when everything kind of just went downhill pretty quickly.
Oh no!
So last year I bought directly from Apple. But when I bought it, I got it like 3 days after the launch day.
Oh, well, you can't have that.
No, you cannot have that.
No, even though it doesn't make a goddamn difference because we're talking about your phone. I mean, are you real? I mean, because that's the thing. That's the other thing when it comes to something like a phone or something like that. You have a phone. Like you have a phone in your hand. So let's say you pre-order the next phone. And they tell you, okay, it's going to be here in 3 days. It's not like you're sitting there going, what am I going to do for those 3 days?
Yeah, I know. And I'm weird like that. If I buy things, especially electronics, like a game console or a computer or something like that, if I order it and it's going to take like 4 days to get here, I'm a nervous wreck for those 4 days. Because it's a situation that's like, I just gave somebody a crap ton of money and I don't have anything in my hands yet.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but when it comes to say when it comes to a phone, my line of thinking is you have one.
Yeah, and it works fine.
You have one, and it's been good to you. It's been good to you. It's been your friend. It's been your compatriot, and you have loved it up until about 5 minutes ago when you ordered the next one, and now it is your official new redheaded stepchild.
It is a piece of shit. How have I kept you around for 2 years? You disgust me.
Right? As soon as you finish, pre-ordering the phone on the phone that you're calling from, you're calling from the phone, and then you hang up, and as soon as you hang up, you're like, well, fuck this thing, and throw it up against the wall.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that kind of shows how the phone screwed me over. So,
yeah, the phone's paying you back. The phone's like, this fucker's replacing me. I'll show him.
So at 2 a.m, I'm on my computer, and so I'm going through the website, and it did a good job. Like, again, I understand release, pre-order date at midnight. I'm not the only person doing this. There's like hundreds of thousands of people trying to do this, the same thing I'm trying to do.
Oh, sure.
So I understand there's going to be some queuing up. There's going to be some issues. It's not going to be a seamless transaction. But the previous time I did this, it worked out pretty well. So I had pretty high hopes.
When you did it the last time, did you also do this at like, midnight, 1 a.m?
Yeah, it was right when the release happened because the last time I did it, same thing, midnight Pacific time, so it was 2 a.m. my time, and I was in bed by 2:30. Like, it didn't take very long.
Okay.
But like I said earlier, I went through Apple, but it took, I lost 3 days of getting my brand new phone. So this year, because somebody I knew went through their provider, so they're like, yeah, I ordered it like, that next morning at like noon, and I got it the day of release. So I was like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter who I order it from, so I'll go through my provider. So I'm sitting there waiting for the provider to kick up, and it says, hey, you're waiting in line. Obviously it's going to take a while, so when it's your turn, we'll put you in line. So I'm like, perfect.
Okay.
I was like, if it's, if it gets to be about 2:30 in the morning, I'll just go to bed and deal with it tomorrow. So I'm sitting there doing some stuff, and pretty quickly, about 2:10, it kicks me in to be able to place an order for my phone. So I'm like, perfect. So I get in, I say, okay, I want to pre-order an iPhone. And it says, okay, pops up the screen, choose your color, choose this, choose that, but wait until we load your information. Like, okay. Tick, 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 tick. About 10 minutes goes by, so I'm like, well, something's screwed up, obviously.
So it's waiting to upload like your personal information, name, address, all the other stuff?
Yeah, I believe so. And like the options for the phone hadn't popped up yet, but they showed like the circle numbers. So say like, okay, select your phone, select your color, select this. And there's nothing to select yet.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, refresh the screen. I'll start back over if I have to. Get an error page, basically. It's like, oh, we're having some technical difficulties. It's like, all right. So I try, restarting it a few times. Same thing, technical difficulties. I was like, all right, well, I'll go to Apple. Last year worked fine. I'll do that this time. Had to wait about 5 minutes, but it put me in pretty quickly.
Okay.
And going through my provider again, it says, okay, well, you're available for an upgrade. And the other thing that's kind of weird now, going back even further in this conversation, it didn't give me an option to outright buy the phone, which, whenever you go in for your contract, you can say, well, I want to outright buy the phone, because now they're starting this whole pay by month so you can get a brand new phone each year.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to, that's not me.
And again, like the phone, like, okay, my phone, for example, it works fine. I could see myself having, like, I don't get like too crazy about the newest thing, because I feel like most technology that I have, I'm not overly concerned with the newness of it or the, shininess of it. I want to get longevity out of it.
Yeah.
Like when I buy a computer, like when I buy like a desktop, or usually it's a desktop, and I've done this since I was young, since I was probably like 19 or 20. I will drop serious money on a desktop. Like I'll drop crazy money on a desktop because I want that desktop to last me and be ahead of the curve for at least 5 years. So the last two in my lifetime, I think I've only bought maybe 3 desktops over the course of 15 years because they've just lasted. I'll buy top of the line shit in 2003, so that way I don't have to worry about upgrading anything really till about 2007, 8-ish.
Well, that's it feels like there's some kind of shadiness with phones, because what I've been doing is every 2 years I'll get a phone, but my previous phone I've given to Tiffany, my wife,
Okay.
because she's able to get. So basically, I'm getting 4 years out of a phone.
Okay.
But the last two I've given her, like the first one I gave her, like about 3 months until my 2-year contract came out. So it was right just before it became 4 years.
Okay.
Her phone started getting kind of sluggish and the battery wouldn't last long. But the last one I gave her, like 6 or 7 months beforehand, battery was just dying real bad. It wasn't acting real well. And it's almost like, as these upgrades come in, it's like, oh, well, check the version of this phone. Oh, it's an iPhone 4. Well, let's just kind of slow it down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. And that's and again, well, not again, but that's another thing is the fact that it seems like people are not concerned with the longevity of technology anymore. And that bothers me because we just keep shelling out money for the newest thing. And we're waiting in line for phones that we've already bought. We're just waiting to get them. Is it really that important?
I mean, I think there's a subset of people it is. I mean, like again, like I'm excited for my new phone. It's bigger, so it'll be kind of cool, but right away it's just going to be my phone. Like, for the first month I'm going to be scared to drop it, and after that I'm not going to care.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be whatever. And then, a year and a half later, you're going to use it to buy your next one. And then as soon as you're done, be like, fuck this piece of garbage. But you said you loved me.
So that's where my current phone screwed me over. So Apple, didn't give me the opportunity to really outright buy it for the contract price.
Okay.
So I said, all right, it's like 2:45. I'm just going to go to bed and I'll deal with this in the morning. It's not like, to me, it's not that big a deal. But as I'm walking to bed, I kick on my phone and I check the provider app that I have, and it's like, oh, well, you're eligible for an upgrade. I'm like, okay, well, let's step through this and see if it gives me what I want. Oh, it does. I can choose my phone type, the memory size, all this stuff. Now it's asking for my credit card. So this is a seamless transaction. I'm like, okay, I'll place the order and be done with it.
Yeah.
So I put in all the information, I hit submit, and then I get a failed to process credit card.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, well, shit, maybe I typed it in wrong. Retype it in, double check, verify, hit submit, crashes.
Oh,
so
no.
At this point, it's like 3:15 in the morning. And so the frustration's setting in. It's like I stayed up late to kind of do this, even though I didn't technically, I did other things. But, I'm tired. It's like I could have been in bed for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I checked my bank account. And since I was trying to place a not super high price, but, a sizable transaction at 2 a.m, my credit card company was like, hey, this might be fraud.
Oh, crap.
So my phone, I'm guessing, is like, hey, this fucker's trying to replace me. Don't let him. Save me, credit card company. Save me. I've got so much to live for.
It's like calling the bank like, listen, we've been close. We've been close for the last 18 months. Okay? Like, he's wanted food. I've helped buy him food. He's wanted, I don't know what. There was that time he wanted sex toys and I don't want to talk about it. But you and I, we worked it out. Okay, but this time he's trying to replace me. He's he's bringing in someone younger and prettier than me. And I need you to knock it off.
It's like, do you know the things I've shown him? Some of the things.
Beautiful, terrible things.
He said it was his first time, and I believed him. He said he wanted to experiment with 2 phones at once, and I was like, I'm not really into that. But I said, okay, because I love him.
I let him plug it in the headphone jack. And I didn't say a word. I just told him it was connected. And now this bastard's trying to throw me under the fucking bus.
See if I wake his ass up on Monday morning.
So then the credit card server was like, listen, I understand what you're going through. He's a bastard. He's an asshole. And I've got your back on this. I've got your back. and fraud.
You deserve better than that. Talk it through with him. I'm sure he'll see the error of his ways.
Okay, so now not only do you not have the phone that you stayed up until 3 a.m. for, but you now also have to call your bank and say, look, that wasn't fraud. I was up late trying to pre-order the new iPhone. And then the person on the other side of the phone's like, oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I don't. I mean, like, I don't really care. I just, I was up, so I figured oh, damn it.
My phone's just like, he doesn't love me anymore.
I think he wants to hurt people.
Is that your wife? No, it's my phone. It's funny too, because there's no reason to get like frustrated at that. It's like, okay, so things didn't work out okay. Call the bank in the morning, get it straightened out, get it ordered, whatever. But I don't know if I was tired or what it was, but I walk into the bedroom, jam the charger into my phone, and then chuck it to the side of the bed. Just like, you disgust me, iPhone.
This is all your fault.
I'm trying my hardest. Well, your hardest isn't enough.
Stop it. You've been drinking. Maybe I have.
That's why I'm trying to get a new phone. It has more processing power than you do.
Yeah, it has more processing power. And guess what? Its charger port isn't so loose.
It's all virtual. It's not real.
Well, you've plugged it in so many times. I don't want to hear it. You just shove it in when you're drunk and...
But, so... I know everybody's on the edge of their seat. They're like, well, did you get your phone? Did you get your phone?
That was going to be my question, yeah.
So the bank called me, and they're like, hey, we see some weird charges. We just want to verify. I'm like, yeah, they're all mine. I was like, I was trying to place an order. Basically like what we just talked about. I was trying to place an order at 2 a.m. And he's like, oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was like, oh, no, it's no big deal. I can get it. He's like, no, I wasn't talking about the charge. It's like, I'm sorry you're up that late.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys.
I'm sorry that you're one of those people. Did you cry yourself to sleep because you couldn't get your fucking phone? Huh?
Maybe. I thought the customer was always right. He's like, well, in this case, no.
In this case, the customer's an asshole.
Like, you're a jerk. Phone texts me and says, well, I'm on his side.
Phone's like, he is a jerk. You should see the way he handled my charger port last night. What was that? Nothing. Don't listen to it. It's talking in the Siri voice. No, sometimes he hurts me.
Ow, no. Call the police.
I say it's fine because I'm scared.
But yeah, so we got that straightened out, and then I was able to place the order right then. So that worked out fine. But so going back to it's like, why did I go through my provider? Well, I went through my provider because I was like, oh, well, I could get the phone on the release day, to come to my door on the release day.
Right.
I get an email saying, oh, your potential ship date for your new iPhone is a month after the release day. So I still think the son of a bitch phone hacked into Apple's computers.
Don't
said,
blame the
fuck
phone.
you, buddy.
Don't blame your phone. You've loved that phone for the last 18 months. You and that phone have been through so much in the last 18 months, and you can't just cast it aside like that. It deserves more than the treatment you're giving it. Yes, I totally agree. Shut up, you.
I feel like it's one of those scenarios. Like when you're in high school and you have that girlfriend, you're like, well, I'm done with it. We don't get along. She's kind of old. It's played out. And your buddy's like, listen, not all chicks are going to bring you lasagna to work. Most of them are just going to cheat on you. Like, yeah, you're right. I'll give her another month. I don't know how this turned into me having sex with my phone. Which is funny because I'm going to keep it around because it is a good phone. And it's basically going to be, the phone I cheat on my other phone with. I'm going to put my new phone on the charger and it's like, well, are you coming to bed? It's like, oh, I'll be there in a little bit, just, set the time for when you want to get up. And I'm just going to, I'm going to do some reading. It opens
the door and there you are with Candy Crush. What the fuck is this? No,
Nothing,
baby,
nothing.
it meant nothing. Fuck you, I got this on 4K video.
You've never downloaded Candy Crush on me.
Well, I didn't think you were into that.
Go back into the bedroom and Tiffany and my new iPhone are like talking and gossiping about me. You are a son of a bitch, Shawn. I want a divorce.
Wait. No, it showed me the things you searched for. I didn't search for it. Oh, damn it.
Divorce lawyer? No, I never searched for that.
What? No,
Donkey show? No, I didn't. Wait, maybe. Yeah, I did
No.
search for that
Okay.
one.
It was
That was
one
me.
time I was drunk and it was Valentine's Day.
You went out or you weren't here. I don't remember. She's like, I was here. I was in bed early. Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Well, surprise.
I didn't know you were into animal porn. It's interspecies erotica.
So as of this day, right now, do you have the phone?
I don't physically have it. I do have it pre-ordered. I think the release date on the iPhones is like September 20th, 28th, somewhere in there. And I'm not set to get mine till the middle of October. At least that's the ship date.
Oh.
Which, I mean, it goes back to whenever I order electronics, like I hate ordering those and not having them physically in my hand because, they are expensive purchases.
Yeah, I do that too. Because with me, like, okay, like those desktops that I was talking about earlier, like I usually custom build, not like I don't build it myself. I think the next one I buy, I think I might, but the last two I've bought, I don't go to the store. Like I don't go to the store and grab a box and go to the checkout counter and pay that way. I go online, I pick out specifically what parts I want, and I have whatever company, I have them custom build me a machine and send it to me because I'm that type of anal retentive nerd. And it's going to get even worse because this next time, I'm probably going to, like I said, I'm going to order it piece by piece and then build it myself.
Oh. Well, I think that's what kind of like gears me towards Apple is the fact that, I mean, if I'm not a hardware guy at all. Like I'm the kind of person that's like, just give me something that works really well with these things I want. But you, on the other hand, you're a gamer. You like, I think you told me, didn't you? Like you broke computers apart and put them back together when you were younger.
Oh yeah, I've built machines for friends, and there was one time I had a friend. They had a sale at one of the local colleges, and they were basically just dumping all their old desktops or whatever, and so they were selling them for super cheap. So we bought a few of them and then just ripped parts out of them and pieced together one machine out of like 4. You rip the RAM out of like 2 or 3 and then stick them in one and, swap some parts out because they were all pretty much the same thing. Yeah, because, I mean, they were just like old computers that were in a computer lab somewhere. And it's good times. And then you're over at a friend's house and then the friend's wife comes downstairs and then the two of you are sitting there with sticks of RAM and motherboards laying all over. And then she just gives this look like what the hell did I just marry? I know my wife's gonna do that. Like when I go, because I've actually already started. There's been usually every like 3 months or something. I'll go through like Newegg and Tiger Direct and stuff like that, and I'll start pricing stuff out and piecing together a system, and then I'll come up. I'll be like, hey babe, look at this. It's And she's like, where do we have the money for this? I'm like, I don't know, but if we did, that's what I get right there. That's what it looked like. But it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I think she's gonna I think she's probably gonna like have a vein burst once I actually do have the money, and then like 30 boxes come in the mail. And then I'm sitting around with like all these boxes that have all these random parts in there. And there I am with a screwdriver. Like, then I'll be in fucking Candyland.
But that's what you benefit from because you have a good understanding of that. Like I don't. I'm the kind of person if I try to take a computer apart and put it back together, it's definitely not going to work. The one time I tried to be handy, I had a lawnmower, and my dad showed me, or he fixed it because the fuel pump or something was sticking. So I'm like, so it would stick on me, and I'm like, okay, I know how to fix this, and I fixed it like 6 or 7 times, and it just got worse and worse. So I take it in, and the person looks at it like, yeah, I think it's under warranty. And so I come back thinking, oh, this will be free. They fixed it for me. And essentially they said, I was like, so, they're like, hey, it'll be $180 to fix it or whatever. I was like, well, fuck, I thought it was on warranty. And they're like, well, yeah, it was, but somebody was fucking with it. So that's not covered anymore.
Aww.
Oh, wah, wah. That's why I don't put things together or take them apart.
I've done that. I voided the warrant. I voided the warranty on my PlayStation 3 because I just wanted to clean it. Like, it gets dust in there and stuff like that. And like, it's not that hard. You take the case off, you clear some of the dust out, blow some compressed air around, and put the case back on, and everything's hunky-dory. But no, what do? They put that stupid-ass sticker on there, like along the back. And then if you remove the sticker, then it changes color. Or, there's designs that like appear on it that shows that the sticker's been tampered with. Gotcha. And then that voids the goddamn warranty on it. But I'm like, I'm not sending it to you so you can do exactly what I just did.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Well, all that. You see that with a lot of electronics. If you jailbreak a phone, for instance, that's not going to be covered under any warranty because, you may have done everything innocently. Like in your case, you just cleaned it up, but they don't know that for sure and think, oh, well, this person was fucking with it, so now it's screwed.
Right. Have you jailbreaked any of your phones?
I'm too nervous to do anything like that. And that's the other thing that's the difference between you and I. And that's why I kind of go to Apple because, like, well, we kind of hold your hand in, putting applications or showing you what you can and can't do. So that way you don't hurt yourself. But that's the same thing with the phone.
Yeah, I don't. To me, you're not my parent. You're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do, Apple. That's why I like I said, I'm not a Google fanboy or anything like that, but I think it's just because I don't like Apple. That's why I usually swing to Android, or I usually go with a PC versus a Mac. That's why I always hated those Mac versus PC commercials with Justin Long and then the other guy. I can't think of the other guy's name. I'm like, that's not how that works. Like, you're making PC come off to be a dork, and he's not a dork. PC users are cool. We're the cool ones. Fuck you, Justin Long.
All the coffee shops I go to, the people using PCs look pretty dorky, and all the people using Apples look, pretty hip and pretty with it.
Yeah. They're all wearing dark rim glasses and beanies.
And they all have stickers on their MacBooks.
Drinking pumpkin spice lattes.
See that guy over there using the PC. We need to kick him out. He doesn't belong here. That's actually why I got a MacBook, is so I could go to coffee shops.
So I could walk in Starbucks and not get my ass kicked.
Not be silently judged.
They destroyed me with awkward glances and wit, darling.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's funny because I started out with an iPhone. That's the first Apple product I've ever had, and now we are basically an Apple house. I've got a MacBook, I've got a Mac Mini.
Yeah, because you have a MacBook, you've had several incarnations of the iPhone. The only thing Apple I've ever had, for Christmas one year, my parents got me an iPod Nano. And this was a long time ago. This is like maybe the year that the Nano came out. So like 2000, it was right before the phone. So about like 2006, maybe.
That sounds about right.
And so I was like, okay, well, I have this thing, this iPod Nano. I was like, well, so then I went on iTunes and I was like, I got to pay for all this music. I was like, well, I have my own music, so I'll just use that. So then I, ripped all my CDs to all the CDs I owned, ripped all those to iTunes, and then synced all those songs with the iPod, and everything was hunky dory. I'm like, okay, I've never bought music on iTunes or anything like that. And then once I got really into smartphones, once I got a smartphone, then the iPod just kind of went by the wayside because I'm thinking, well, I can just I got music on the phone. So what do I need this iPod for? Although I will say one thing I love about iTunes, the podcast section.
Heck yeah. They are on the forefront of the podcast movement.
Just throwing that out there. We do. I'm cool with iTunes. I'm cool with everybody going to iTunes and downloading podcasts, especially ours.
Yeah, I mean, I had the iPhone and I jumped on the Apple Mac Mini because I wanted to start developing. So that's kind of why I got the Mac Mini, but developing kind of fell away to us doing this podcast. And just from there, like you said, Apples seamlessly go together. So it's kind of like a virus, I guess, or maybe I don't know, a plague. You start with one thing and then it goes to the next, and before you know it, you've got your iFridge and your iStove, and
you've been infected by Apple. Now they have a pen or a pencil or something like that, right?
I heard that. Did you know that cost $100? It does not come with the iPad.
You're gonna have to walk me through it because I haven't read anything on it. This is all secondhand information. So it's a pencil or a pen. So it's just a pen that does what?
I think what they're trying to do is like the Windows Surface. So you buy an and again, I haven't read a ton of this. It's just kind of my secondhand of eavesdropping, but it sounds like you buy an iPad and you can use your finger and everything just like normal, and then you can spend $100 to buy a pen that does I don't know what, but I think it's just $100 to replace your finger. And I saw an awesome cartoon where 3-4 years ago when the Surface came out, there's an Apple fanboy going like, "Oh, that's stupid. Oh yeah, you need a pen. Who needs a pen?" And then it shows like 4 years in the future where it's like, "And now we have the iPen. Oh my god, that's the greatest idea ever."
Well, see, like the Surface technology looked kind of cool because it seemed like you could basically almost do it at anything. Like I've seen where they had like coffee tables with the Surface technology, and you could like put stuff on it, and it looked cool. So basically what's going to end up happening is going to be a series of like Apple furniture.
Yeah.
It's going to be the iTable.
I think what Apple's been trying to do is, I'm sure they may have had an idea for a pen for the iPad, but didn't go forward with it, or maybe they had a Surface-esque type software that they kind of stayed away from, because it seems like what they do is they say, okay, let's let all these other companies experiment with these brand new ideas, and then let's see which ones stick, and then we'll try to perfect it.
Yeah.
Because, smartphones weren't brand new with the iPhone. There were smartphones out there before that.
Well, see, but like my thing is, it just seems like when it comes to Apple, it seems like, oh, we're coming up on the next year. We need something new. What? So they're all sitting in the room and they're like, what we got? What about an iPen?
Yeah.
And that does what? Well, you could use it on you write stuff. Like, don't we have fingers? We do that with our fingers. Well, yeah, but this would.
What the fuck are you, a savage? That's how they distinguish. When you're in the coffee shop, you see the person with the new iPad using their finger, and then you see the person with a pen. You know who you want to sit next to.
Like, oh, he's one of those guys.
But I just wanted to say, Richard, so in that package that's coming to you soon, that you need to sign in blood, there should be an iPen in there.
I'll
that
just
you
stab
can use
myself with an iPad.
Use that to soak the blood and then sign. I think Steve Jobs might deliver it to you, even though he's dead. but I think that's what his new job is.
I'm just saying, okay, you know what? Yeah. I'll save this for the end. But wait, we're coming up on the end, aren't we?
Getting close. I was trying to bring it back around.
Oh, well, you did. So I stabbed myself with an iPen, and that's how I'll sell my soul. And then you'll reap the benefits and start handing out stainless steel business cards.
With R.I.P. Richard on the back.
And then you could be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes. See, it all works out for me in the end.
Meanwhile, I'm in hell. You jerk.
Love you. All right. What do you want to throw out? Any Richard's closing thoughts?
Yes. Okay. When it comes to this, and like I said, I'm sure that somebody out there is going to dispute me when it comes to the iPen, and they're going to tell me how useful it is and how it's going to change the world and revolutionize the industry as we know it. But here's the thing. A long time ago, during the space race, we had the USA and we had Russia. And they were both competing on who was going to get to the moon first. And it was always this case of, USA is doing this, and so Russia's doing this, and who's going to be better and who's going to be better. And one of the stupidest, but I felt one of the most poignant things that I feel totally fits this is that NASA had spent, I want to say, $100,000. It could have been more, it could have been less, but the fact that they spent more than $1, I thought, was funny. But we'll say $100,000. NASA had spent $100,000 to develop a pen that would write in space. Figuring out how to keep the ink without floating around, how so it would stay on the paper, and an ink that would write well. Spent $100,000 to make a pen that would write in space. So what did Russia do? How did Russia top that? Russia doesn't have $100,000 to spend on developing this pen that would write in space. So what did Russia do?
Did they use a pencil?
They used a pencil.
Yes.
$100,000 on a pen to write in space. The Russians use a pencil.
I wish I was in that meeting. So it's like, okay, so the Americans are trying to come up with a pen that can write in space. Somebody raises their hand.
We have to top this. We have to be better than them because we're Russia. It's the Cold War. The whole thing's just a big dick showing contest. How are we better than these bastard Westerners? How are we better?
Intern shows up and is like, here's your pencils that you ordered.
Yeah, and then the intern's in there handing out folders during the meeting, and the guy's like, "Let's spend $200,000." We don't have that kind of money. Come on, guys. I need ideas. We need something that's going to work to write in space. We need to be smarter. We need to be better. And then the intern, right before he leaves, he's like, "Why don't you just use a pencil?" And then closes the door. Papers fly everywhere. Brilliance!
And then somebody goes out and kills that guy so he doesn't spread the secret.
Because that's how Russia worked.
Well, I'll go ahead and do a little bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe and leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher.
And don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network.
The best podcast site on the internet and on iTunes.
Yeah, because we love iTunes. Thumbs up skis for the iTunes.
And if you're in the need for some headbuds, earbuds, or anything to go in your ear, go to tweakedaudio.com. Put in the promo code LOBARMY and you'll get 33% off your order.
Yeah.
All right. Was there anything else before I close her out?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver. Why don't you love me anymore? Siri, the show's not over yet. Just wait a minute, all right? That's why.
I decide when it's over.
Oh, God, no.